Hello YouTube, we're doing a little bit of repair on this, mostly just filing the teeth on the jack, and we took some pins out that were riveted to get more of the rust out and stuff. Then we painted that part black, you'll see that. This is the paint we settled on. It looks nothing like, that's the paint on the bolt. And this is old John Deere green. And this was that dark forest green. Now, this looks a little nicer live instead of on camera. This kind of mutes it down, but this is just about the same. I'm looking at it. It kind of mutes this down too. Kind of makes these a little different. But this is what we settled on. It's just at the dollar store. It's called Premium Green, I think. We'll spend too much time on this. They're Dollar General. And the reason I like this paint is it works good and it's got the old school tops on it. So you can turn the can upside down and clean it. Not like that one brand where I threw away how many cans. Ran about that. But it's kind of too dark. Excuse me. But it'll look okay. It's close to Christmas time. Think about it. Look at that green. We're not going to remove all the paint. We're trying to get removing most of the rust. We're going to clean these jaws up a little better. We did a little repair on those. A little bit on these. And this is the worst one. So we left it to show you what we have to do yet. And it's just all done with just a common file. But this is a really coarse file. And you can tell I've been using it. The rust and the dust and the... There you go. We'll get going here. We'll bring you a few clips here so you got something to see besides just the painted product. We decided to go with that bolt. I mean, if I manufacture this, I would make sure the bolt goes clear out here because this is in a pivot area to where the threads, but everything works on it. It's not that critical. I would not have chosen a bolt like that. Anyway, I need to clear my throat, so we'll take a break and we'll do a little more work. Then we'll be back to show you the handle part to where we put the rivets back in it. There's a piece there with two rivets. You'll see it. Instead of trying to explain it, you'll see it when I'm done with it. So stay tuned for more. Okay, I showed this in another video doing jaws, but you're not going to get all those chips out of there. I made this line, see this line right there? I made this with the file, okay? So I could get that accurate. You're not going to get a knife edge. Remember, your file is not straight all the way. See how it tapers it? Stay back here at the back if you want the straightest. See, it's not straight out here. And you can make these deeper. Like I said one video, don't be afraid to go down in the groove a little bit, but just make sure both sides are even. When you look over here and you look how deep the groove is, come over here and check it. But these are pretty bad. So this is like a giant version of a vice grip. I may want to use this jack. This is the one on the bottom. So I will have a before and after picture of this definitely, because that's the most damage. And like this one up here, I kind of rounded it off better. Because you tell how it's cast, it kind of looks nice. It's kind of just too squared here. See that? I kind of round it off, make it look natural. That's just all when they cast parts. This piece will be painted black. And so will the thing that goes here. You'll see a U-shaped thing. There we go. Back to work. I thought it would be worth including a couple minutes just showing you this, so you're not afraid to try it. I mean, practice on an old pair of vice grips. You'll get used to it. That's a lot of metal to take out, but this is an aggressive file. It does not take that long. If I took a power tool of this, think about trying to get some kind of cutter. I mean, of course you could, but take your time. I like the file is your friend. I just had to do that. Back to work. You know who says that. Okay, I think we were just talking away and it wasn't on record. Give me that file back. This one I'm really rough, round. It's like a wood rasp, isn't it? See the rough marks where I'm making this shape? It's kind of a Y shape. And then down here where there's a casting mark. Cast from the mold. See that? You can do that with a power tool, but take your time, it's worth it. This vise would never have held something this heavy before I fixed these screws. Now, that's all it takes. It's just like that. I go a little bit more for safety on slam on my hand, but there you go. Just we'll have pictures of the teeth, because it's just so hard in this light. Okay, back to work. Okay, here's the piece I was talking about earlier. I decided to paint this black because the jack part with the teeth, it's black. So it's only two things that's going to be black. And the bottom is black. No use wasting green paint on that. It's going to sit on the ground. These were peened over. And I'm sure I could do the same thing. But the thing is, I have to find something to put in between here. Okay. I have to find something to put between here. This is iron cast or whatever. It can break. You can't hit it with a sledgehammer. So I got to put something in between here while I peen these over. And they only have to be just enough so they can't fall out. Because when this is together, I don't think there's that much play in the body of that jack. I'm going to measure it so I know how much space is there. Make sure I've got it the right way. The handle curves up at the end. This is the right way, and this is where it hooks. The shape of this. You know, so this is where it hooks on the teeth. And there's my battery symbol. So we'll pause, we'll come back when we have this done and show you how we did it. Okay, here's how we did this. This is what these are called. This one's a 3/8. I have several sizes. I just got them one day in case I was going to make a project. Find them home supply stores. Had to cut some off, about a 1/2 inch. So I got that wedge there with the bolts, tighten it up. Then I peened that over. Not very accurate. So was using a glancing blow, but you got to be careful, don't hit real hard. But I'll just spray some touch-up paint on there. I just wanted this piece black, and I wanted it apart because there's a lot of rust in there. I didn't want to try to reach there and try to clean it. I wanted it clean for once. So there you go. Those will come right back out. These are sloppy. They're longer than what they need to be. But they're not going to fall out. They really can't fall out anyway once the jack's together. You'll see that when it's done. But that's the way it was. That's the way it'll be. So stay tuned for more. Okay, we're getting a little closer to paint. It's only 45 degrees out, so we had our table more over towards the door with the fan going. Of course, wearing a mask and goggles, you don't know what's in the paint or in the rust and the dust, but we're just taking off the rust we can get to with a stone on a Dremel. We're just scuffing up the old paint that's still on there, and we're going to call that good. This isn't anything that's super special. If I did this big stuff all the time, then I might be interested in getting me a small sandblaster. Even one of them little small ones that you just put on the hose. But I haven't really seen one had any good reviews. But we did paint the inside black earlier this morning and the bottom. What we did, we had this on the wood stove. It was so hot that when we painted the bottom, you could just see the paint steaming off it. But we didn't want to waste paint on the bottom. It's going to be on the ground when you use it. It's going to sit on the floor all the time. So no use putting paint down there. So it is painted black. It's all scuffed up now. We're going to put it back on the stove. Get this thing hot to where it feels hot up here, okay? We'll just start painting with the top down because this will be on the vise outside. It's going to cool off quick. So we'll start at the top, work our way down. That way this won't be so hot when we get the paint on there. Because you got to be careful. Don't paint on something real hot. The paint will just bubble and just be a mess. But then we'll bring it back inside and set it near the stove. It'll be over on my bench. It is like countertop material. So if it gets paint on it, you just wash it off. So I'm just going to set it over because, you know, what little is ever going to be there. But this will sit on the vise so we can get around the edges. So there you go. We're getting closer. We'll have this done sooner or later. We're going to quit sometime today. I mean, we've been working on this for... Today we've been at this for about 5 hours. So we're getting kind of tired of it. Want to go watch some videos or something this evening. So stay tuned for more. Okay, we are done in painting. Excuse the noise in the neighborhood. It's always a dog barking, huh? We're going to show you how this works. Okay. I don't know if you can see that down there. That grabs out. And to lower it down is what you do is you start pulling this up and you pull this wire back. And I think it works better if you had weight on it. The wire was the hardest part of this job because it was bent. I bet you could jack up a big truck with that. The base is kind of small, but there you go. It's kind of a little too dark green, but I just didn't want John Deere green, and that's all I could find at the store I went to. So there you go. So we painted this part black, that black, and we wanted that green because that way you can see the, you know, how it works better. I think you know what I mean. So thanks for watching, and we'll snap plenty of pictures of it.